I think it's a really good idea to come here soon because what's up, guys, and good morning from Koh Chang in the Trat province of Thailand. Sorry for looking the way that I look. I've been awake for a whole 14 minutes. We got to get on the move. Today is our only full day here, unfortunately, so I'm gonna try to get a lot done. I'm not solid on what we're gonna do yet, but first things first, we're gonna get a coffee because that's standard and mandatory. And at some point before the end of the day, I'm gonna give you guys a little cruise around the resort here because I really like it. It's more of a budget-friendly option, kind of set away from everything, but it's super quiet. Really pretty grounds. I'm 100% happy with it. So if you wanna see how much this place costs per night, and it's kind of still busy season right now. It's kind of in that swing time. But if you do wanna come check out this place yourself, make sure you stick around. I'm gonna give you a big breakdown by the end of the video. All right, so coffee, check. We've made our second stop. One thing I really like about Koh Chang is lots of good food, lots of Western food. That's not to say Pattaya doesn't have good food either, but especially when it comes to breakfast, I rarely eat breakfast as it is. And if I do, that's like the one time of day I'm actually a pretty picky eater. Nice thing about Koh Chang is you have plenty of options. So we're here at Crust Bakery. Usually me for breakfast, I'm like a banana or a croissant, and that's pretty much it. But here they've got more like American style breakfast, fried potatoes. Anybody out there watching who is opening a restaurant and wants to do American breakfast, if there's not hash browns or fried potatoes on that plate, it is not an American breakfast. I also ordered my second coffee within about 15 minutes, so we're gonna see how that turns out. I woke up last night at like 3 a.m. and it felt like both my arms had been just stuck in an anthill. I was like, what the hell is going on? I woke up, and when I realized what happened, I felt pretty stupid. So I knew I was taking a long ride down here. The ride from Pattaya to down here was like almost 5 hours with a couple of breaks that I took. So I knew I was gonna be in the sun that whole time. I've ridden before, so I was like, yeah, I'll wear a long sleeve, I'll be good. But I didn't think about, for some reason, I'm going 90 kilometers the whole way. It had blown my sleeves up to about here the whole way. So I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but I had my gloves on. So now I have this super beat tan line. It's just like 4 inches of my arm are super sunburned. Really random. So that's a pro tip if you want to take a motorbike trip down here. Another pro tip is if you are planning on riding on Koh Chang, there's like full-blown mountains on this island and all the roads go through them. So it's not like it's super fast or technical or anything, but they're really steep, and they'll be very steep and a switchback at the same time. So if you're not super comfortable, that can be a little bit sketchy. Even me earlier going up one of them, I got a little bit swirly. So it is something to think about if you want to come here and ride. After this amount of time in Thailand, I've been to quite a few different islands. And it's safe to say by this point that Koh Chang is it's pretty much my favorite. I don't know, it's a close 1 and 2 between Koh Samet and here at Koh Chang. There's a few reasons for that. One, I'll just kind of tell you the differences. Koh Samet is not quite as traveled by international tourists. There's a lot of Thais that go there on long weekends and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still white people there, but for the most part, it's not quite as built up as, let alone like a Koh Samui or Krabi, anything like that. And while having places built up is cool, because then you get all the good infrastructure, restaurants, things like that. Of course, the more built up it is, the more tourists, the more crowded. And I don't know about you, but me, I love being able to be on the beach, kind of have my own space, not have to wait for tables at restaurants. So I like Koh Samet because it's not really built up at all quite yet. Now Koh Chang, on the other hand, much more developed. As you can see behind me, there's tons of resorts, and I mean, this is kind of like the main beach. So it's a lot more built up here, but not like a Koh Samui or Phi Phi or anything like that. Like all those top 10 island lists you see, Koh Chang doesn't make it onto every single one of those, as opposed to like Koh Samui or Phi Phi or Phuket. So it's not quite as traveled here. Granted, I'm here in kind of the interim like season change. It's about to go into low season. I've been here during low season, and my mother and I pretty much had this whole beach to ourselves. Granted, got to deal with some more rain and stuff, but being from the desert, that doesn't bother me at all. So personally, I really like it here because it's built up enough to where you're gonna have options for hotels. You're not really gonna have trouble finding a room. There's plenty of food, no matter what you like to eat, Thai food, Western food, there's a little bit of everything. The best Mexican restaurant I've found in Thailand is here on Koh Chang. It's called El Barrio. So if you are hankering for some Mexican food, this is the place. I've been to all the ones in Pattaya. I've been to a few in Bangkok. And granted, this place here isn't Michelin star, but in my opinion, it's the best by far. I'll tell you what, man, do I feel like a tourist. I'm usually so anti-shoes on the beach. A shirt on, backpack, shoes, and socks on. Life of a YouTuber. I don't got enough pockets to carry all the camera gear and batteries. So here we are. It is hot as hell. The vast majority of the time when I'm looking at hotels and stuff, pretty much no matter where I'm going, I'm pretty much always looking for budget options, especially if I'm just by myself. Pretty much as long as there's no bugs and air conditioning, I can deal with whatever. I understand not everybody is like that. Life is all about perspective. I have spent some nights in some terrible places. So if there's no bugs and there's air conditioning, I can deal with it. So when I was getting ready to come down here, I did the same exact thing. I got on Agoda, sorted by cheapest first, and now I didn't pick the absolute cheapest option, but if you are on a budget, there's quite a few places here. I was very surprised how cheap they were. Like I said earlier, granted, we're kind of in that swing season. It's not busy season, but it's not full-blown low season yet, so I think the prices right now might be a little bit better than normal. But I chose here because one, the location looked pretty good. I usually, if I'm picking a hotel, I try to be kind of away from the main drag a little bit. Still close enough you can go down there and check it out if you want, but you know, especially with Thailand, everybody's out partying and stuff. More power to you, but when I'm going to bed, I'm ready to go to bed. So when I chose this place, I liked it because we're pretty much all the way down at the end of the island almost. It's really quiet over here, and it was cheap. For 2 nights after the fees and everything, I think I paid about 2,200 baht, which it's not really expensive for Thailand, but it's not cheap for Thailand. But for what you get, the room is great. They've kind of got these little bungalows here, and from what I remember, you had 2 options. I'm pretty sure there's rooms with AC and rooms without AC. Obviously the rooms without AC are cheaper, but I went with the one with AC. Ended up being like 2,200 baht, which I think comes out to like $65 or something like that for 2 nights, which is amazing. I think still a bit expensive as far as Thailand standards go, but you're out here on an island and you got to find somewhere to stay. So I would 100% recommend this place. Not sponsored at all, anything like that. They didn't pay me to tell you that. For me on this trip, I'm definitely just hanging out, minus talking to you guys and doing a little bit of filming. I'm here full-blown chilling. But if that's not your vibe and you want to come down to Koh Chang, there is plenty to do. If you like outside stuff, especially, there's a couple waterfalls here. A big chunk of the island is all like cut off as a national park, so you can go up there, you can do hiking. There's tons of diving. There's two more islands a little bit further south, Koh Chang and one more, I think, are both supposed to have amazing diving and snorkeling. You can do fishing trips. There's plenty of bars and stuff if you're into the whole nightlife aspect. There's plenty of Western food. I mean, there's endless stuff to do here. So no matter what your vibe is, you can find something that's good for you. On that note, we'll do a little room tour. Are you ready? And room tour is over. Like I said, I don't need a whole lot. There was one nice little surprise with this place. I was so beat when I was done with the ride yesterday. I walked in, sat all my stuff down, was chilling for a little bit, and then I looked around, I was like, is there no bathroom in this place? And then there's this little tiny door. Let me flip you around real quick. Boom. So this was closed at the time, and I could just see light. I thought it was just like a door outside, but it's not. The bathroom is outside as well, which is pretty cool. It was pretty cool taking a shower under the moon and the stars last night, but I was using the toilet earlier while getting chewed up by mosquitoes, so take that how you will. Man, it really is beautiful here, and it's so quiet. It's funny that, you know, we can be on the same island. Like if you go 10 kilometers that way, it is a whole different vibe. I like it though. You can hop in and out. There's a little bit of something here for everybody. Earlier this morning, I was looking out here when it was high tide. I could see these rocks and stuff out here. Now, I thought it was people out here snorkeling. And I mean, if you look behind me, you can see the tide line, and it might be hard to tell on video. It looked like people were way out there snorkeling. I was like, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I've never seen somewhere where the tide drops as much as it does in Thailand. Not even just here, even in Pattaya. It kind of blows my mind how far the tide goes down. But anyways, back home tomorrow. Only here for a couple days. This was kind of really just a little reset for me. I'm sure you guys know if you spend too much time anywhere, you know, for too long, maybe it's just me, but when you get somewhere new or just a different spot in general, it's really easy to find all the stuff that you do like. I feel like, I don't know if I'm cynical or what, but the more time I spend somewhere, I start seeing stuff that I don't like. So I just needed a little break from Pattaya, came down here, and it has been absolutely perfect. And I just really enjoy it down here because especially on this side of the island, I feel like this is probably what a lot of Thailand was like 30 or 40 years ago. If you're already in Thailand or if you're planning on coming here soon, I think it's a really good idea to come here soon because I don't think it's going to be like this for a whole lot longer. Granted, like I was saying earlier, it's already very developed. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some other islands you can go to that are much quieter, where it's very possible you won't run into any other foreigners. All the Thais have got it figured out. They know where all the cool islands are. But it's plenty possible to find a spot where you might be the only foreigner, but the trade-off with that is there's not gonna be the infrastructure, right? Here it's nice because you can come to one side of the island and it's very quiet. There's really nobody around, but if you wanna eat some Western food, if you got a little hankering for some food from home or whatever, if you wanna stay in a resort, a very nice hotel, you can do that here. But there's still just this air of, you know, original Thailand, which I really enjoy. And, you know, especially with the internet and people like myself nowadays, secrets don't stay secrets for very long. So if you are here or you're planning to come to Thailand, I highly suggest you put Koh Chang on your list. Well, it's about dinner time, and I'm fairly certain I'm gonna go back to that Mexican restaurant again. Judge me if you want, but I like what I like. As for you guys, I'm gonna leave the camera. I'm gonna enjoy my last night here. Not that filming is a huge deal, but I think it's important. If you're a person who's looking to get into YouTube or whatever, it's good to put the camera down every once in a while and just kind of be there. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. Get to bed early, hit the road. back to Pattaya. If you guys made it this far in the video and you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Drop a like. It helps me get in front of more people just like yourself with similar interests. And if you want to see more from Thailand, more from Asia in general, you know what to do. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.